What's up everybody? My name is Phil. Welcome back to Miranda Detailing, where we make satisfying detailing videos. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about the differences between a waterless wash and a rinseless wash. So there seems to be some confusion as to what are waterless washes and what are rinseless washes, when to use them, how to use them. I'm going to give you my opinions and show you some of the products that we use. Now when it comes to a rinseless wash, many of us use rinseless solutions all the time. If you're used to using Optimum no rinse, this is a rinseless solution. The difference between them, basically, the rinseless solutions you dilute, waterless you generally don't. But you can make a waterless solution out of this type of no rinse solution. I'll show you what I mean. So with this stuff, Optimum no rinse, it is a very popular product. Everybody knows about Optimum no rinse, and this stuff can be utilized in many different ways. You can dilute it to use a traditional rinseless wash, which you have a couple of gallons in a bucket of water. You have a multitude of towels in there, and you basically soak the towels. You can pre-soak the panel with a diluted bottle of this stuff to kind of soften up and emulsify and start to encapsulate any of the particles and dust on the paint. Then you can use your microfiber out of your bucket. You wring it out so that it's about half wet, not completely soaking so that you're just dripping water everywhere, but in a controlled way. You can fold that towel into fours with it nice and wet with the solution, and then clean each panel, and you have about 8 sides of the microfiber to flip inside and out and clean each panel, and then you throw that in a separate bucket and you wash it later. And you do that throughout the entire vehicle, cleaning all the surfaces, and then you can clean your wheels and things like that with grosser towels with the same solution. That is a rinseless wash because you don't need to rinse the panel after. You're using a solution that cleans, and then you just use a dry microfiber to dry the paint, and you're done. Easy, quick, and you only used a couple of gallons of water with only a few ounces of this product. So there's a couple of different ways that you can dilute this. You can dilute it to a quick detailer dilution ratio, which there is some argument as to, can a quick detailer be used as a waterless wash? Essentially yes, but it's not its intended use. It's really just for light smudges and dust and things like that. If it's a strong enough dilution ratio, then it will clean the paint better, and it'll leave a little bit of protection behind as well. And we'll talk about that later with some of the products that we're going to look at. But generally, a quick detailer is just for light dust, smudges, and that's about it. But you can use it on every surface of the paint, glass, plastic, trim. So it is very versatile. This can also be diluted to a clay lube. Now with the clay lube dilution, it says 2 ounces per gallon of water. I mix it a little bit stronger. That's just me, it's my opinion. I like it to be just a little bit stronger. You have a whole gallon of this stuff, and a few ounces per gallon, even 6 ounces per gallon for clay lube. You'll have this for a long, long time. If you're in a shop environment with a ton of guys, then you'll definitely go through many, many gallons a year. But for me, a gallon will last a year plus. So I've had this for just about a year now. I use it as a clay lube and as a quick detailer or glass cleaner. So that's what I use it for, and it does a great job at that. Now an alternative product to Optimum no rinse is this one. Now I just picked this up a couple of months ago and I started using it, and primarily I'm using it as a glass cleaner, and I'll tell you why in a moment. But this stuff is just like Optimum no rinse. It can be used as a rinseless wash. You can dilute it to a quick detailer ratio, so essentially a waterless wash. It can be also a glass cleaner, so that's what I'm using it as. The dilution ratio on this is insane. 1 to 256, so that is half an ounce per gallon. Again, I mix it just a little bit stronger, about an ounce per gallon, maybe a little bit more. The advantage of this stuff over Optimum, I think it's a little bit slicker, and I think it leaves a better polymer on the surface as well. That's just my opinion. And I just use it as a glass cleaner, and I use it on the inside and outside of the vehicle, and I feel that it makes the glass nice and slick so that you don't have that drag on the towel, which may leave maybe a little lint on there or some streaking because it's not evaporating quick enough. So this stuff is really cool as a glass cleaner, and I talked about it before. I actually got, I was suggested this by Nick at Hawk Pro Detailing, and he actually does a couple of different things with this product along with the other products from American Detail Garage. But I just picked up this one to use as a glass cleaner, but once I'm out of Optimum no rinse, I'll be using it as a clay lube and other things as well. This stuff is awesome. I'll definitely be using this for the rest of the year because there's so much of it, and I'll probably make some more videos on it later. But these two products, Optimum No Rinse and this Wipeout product, are rinseless concentrates. These are considered rinseless washes because they're dilutable. You put them in buckets of water and you clean the paint, surfaces, and then you just simply dry without having to rinse anything. It's not considered waterless because you are using just a few gallons of water. It still conserves water, but it's not considered waterless. So let's talk about waterless. Again, with the other products, the Optimum No Rinse and Wipeout, you can dilute it to a waterless dilution ratio or a quick detailer ratio, and essentially it becomes a waterless. But this stuff, along with others, I just chose this one because I've used it before and I really like using it, from 3D, their waterless car wash. This stuff you don't dilute. You put it straight in a bottle, you spray it onto the panel, you wipe it off, and that's it. It does leave a little bit of protection behind, but it cleans the paint really well, and it adds a lot of lubrication also. So that's what this stuff is. It is considered a waterless because you're not putting it in gallons of water, you're not diluting it. It is a straight fluid right onto the paint, and that's it. So I use this actually on really nice, delicate Corvettes that I actually have a video of, and I'll link it up in the top here, as well as some of the videos in the bottom. And guys, if you're interested in any of the products, I'll put links to all of them down below. Some of them go to Amazon, some of them go to Car Guy Supply, some to autogeek.net, and some to, I forget if it was Autoality that sells American Detailer Garage or not, I forget, but I'll have links to that down below. So this stuff is really awesome, and all these products smell nice. There's something about the rinseless and waterless products that, man, they're just so nice to smell. Yeah, it's addictive. It's probably not good to smell it that much. Makes your environment just smell good when you're washing or cleaning your car. So let's talk about the other products here. These are going to be your detailers or waterless washes, if you want to call it that. So Lithium has their Luster Lube. This is considered their quick detailer, their clay bar, their spray wax. It has polymers in it, so you use it as protection on the paint, but you also use it as a quick detailer and a clay lube. So versatile product. Again, this stuff smells delicious. Oh, yep, it smells really, really nice. Kind of like a suntan lotion type of smell, like a coconutty, fruity Caribbean type of smell to it. Now I have the last coat here, and you may wonder why, because it's considered a SiO2 sealant. I've seen some guys use this as a quick detailer type of solution. To me, in my opinion, I'm not going to use it like that. I view this product as strictly protection, but you can use it on the surface to get rid of smudges, use on glass and things like that as kind of a last step product that obviously has protection in it, but can clean up light dust and fingerprints and smudges. So you can also use this on the interior. I'll be doing a video on this soon to show you what it can do on the interior of a vehicle, but it can be used on all surfaces. So again, a very versatile product, but it's not considered a quick detailer. It's not considered a waterless wash or a rinseless wash or anything like that. It's not dilutable. This is, to me, strictly protection. You can use it to lightly clean surfaces. Just don't use it as a quick detailer itself. I know there's some information out there that says you can use it as that, but I just don't see the purpose in using a product like this, which is a sealant, in that way. That's just my opinion. If you guys use it like that, kind of like a quick detailer type of thing, let me know down below if you use it, some of the pros and cons to using it in that way. But for me, to me, this is just strictly protection. But I had it in the lineup here just because some guys use it as a quick detailer type of product. Now let's show you a couple of different ones. Now this one we're going to use today. This is from Wolfgang. It is their Concours Series SiO2 waterless wash. So this is not dilutable, straight out of the bottle, use it right onto the paint. This can be used kind of as a quick detailer, but it's meant to kind of clean the paint with a little bit more surface stuff on it. This product is really nice because it does have the SiO2 infused, so it leaves a good layer of protection behind, but it also cleans your paint. Not to be used as a clay lube or anything else. It's just really strictly to clean paint, all the surfaces, glass, trim, plastic, all of that, and leave protection behind. So we'll use this today. Another product that we just got in fact, we have a ton of their products that just came in. We'll have another video on that, but I thought I would show you this stuff because it is their quick detailer. their showroom elegance. This, again, you don't dilute, you just use straight onto the paint. You could dilute it, I guess, if you want, but maybe just 1-to-1 and use it as a clay lube, because it's very similar to, say, Meguiar's Last Touch or many other Last Touch detailer type products. I'm going to use this straight. I won't use this today. I'll use it in a different video and showcase some of their other products. But again, this stuff is just intended to remove dust, mild road grind, fingerprints, and daily contamination. So guys, here is a tip when it comes to when to wash your vehicle the traditional way, using a waterless wash or using a quick detailer. It all depends on the level of grime and dirtiness on your vehicle. Generally for us, we don't use a lot of waterless or rinseless washes because the vehicles that we do are so bad. The vehicle needs to be washed traditionally. It needs a lot of APC rinsing. It needs a lot of rinsing in general to get all the damage material off, the heavy grit and grime and junk, especially towards the lower portions of the vehicle. Engine bay, wheels, all that stuff. It needs a heavy duty cleaning. So we go through the traditional wash for that, and even go a little overboard because we want to make sure that the paint is clean, not inflicting any damage on the paint, or as little damage as possible onto the paint. But if the vehicle is relatively clean, in good condition, garage kept, or just not driven a lot, then you may choose to use a rinseless or waterless wash. So here's a tip that one of the Turtle Wax representatives told us when deciding when to use a quick detailer or rinseless or waterless wash. Anything from the ground up. If you're driving your vehicle and you have grime and damaged material and dirt and particles and things like that that have been thrown up onto the vehicle from the ground, do a traditional wash. Do not use the rinseless or waterless method to clean paint like that. It's too damaging. There's too much to pick up. So wash your vehicle the traditional way. However, if anything from the sky or the air down lands on your paints, then you're safe to use these types of solutions, because generally it's not going to be so adhered, or it's not going to be such a heavy particle that you risk really scratching or damaging your paint or marring it. Not really deep scratches, but marring it and giving it those love marks and swirls. That's where you get that type of damage, because the particles are just too heavy, too thick. You're just rubbing it into the paint. But if it's from the air down, light dust, particles, minerals, things like that, using solutions like this, they're lubricated enough, they encapsulate any type of particles enough, and then you use soft microfiber towels, so it minimizes to a great degree the amount of damage that you're inflicting on your paint. So here's the last one that we're going to use today. And this is from Turtle Wax, their ceramic line, their ceramic 3-in-1 detailer. So it says 3-in-1 because essentially you can use it 3 different ways. You can use it as a waterless, so not dilutable, spray it onto the surface, wipe it up. You can use it as a quick wax because it does have SiO2 in it, leaves behind durable protection. You can also use it as a quick detailer. Again, quick detailer, waterless wash, essentially you use them in the same way, especially when the vehicle is in the same condition. Not heavily contaminated, stuff that falls from the sky onto the paint, not from the road up. Well, let's use the Wolfgang waterless wash. And this product I'm just going to mist onto, I'm going to turn it on first. So this product I'll spray onto the towel, just spritz it, and then just kind of wet down the panel. And you really don't want to go too dry on this product. Spread enough down, man that smells nice, and then use your towel and kind of roll up. So you're going to collect junk on the edge of the towel here, then you're going to flip it and do the same thing. You start with the top, you start with the front of the towel here and roll until all the junk collects here. And you're basically pushing it up into the towel and not grinding it into the paint. So let's flip, do the same thing here. And I'm not putting any pressure, I'm just guiding the towel along. And that's it. So I'm going to flip it inside out now and dry the surface, because the contaminants are now off of the surface and in the towel because I flipped it inside out. So now you can dry the surface without worrying about dragging particles all over and hurting the paint. And this stuff has enough lubrication in it where you're not going to cause excessive damage. Love marks? Probably, over time. Even if you use the plushest microfiber in the world, you're going to get some sort of love marks. You really can't escape it. But they will be greatly reduced. So as you see there, I just didn't dry all the way up to the edge. I left the edge there wet because I don't want to push the towel into a dry area. I want to always have kind of a wet edge there to work with. So I'll spray the rest and keep cleaning from there. But the paint is now clean and ready to go. And it does have a layer of protection on it now on top of the protection that I already have. Just building up layers, that's totally fine to do. And man, it's very, very slick. So it's a very nice slick product and leaves behind some good protection. And overall, I really, really like it. Don't mind those. Those are just spots in the paint. There's a lot of damage in this paint, but it is nice and clean. So let's work on the other side of the hood, and we're going to use the Turtle Wax 3-in-1 Quick Detailer, basically like a waterless wash. So same idea. I'm going to kind of soak down the panel. That way I have all the edges wet. The product is actually emulsifying, it's encapsulating, it's doing its work as a quick detailer or waterless wash. And again, this stuff smells really, really nice. Same technique. Lay the towel down and roll it as you go down. I'm going to flip it. Really, there's not much, but you can see a tiny, tiny little buildup here. And that's why it's just light dust and particles from the air. Nothing that really will be dramatically damaging your paint. And once again, no pressure. I'm just guiding the towel and that's it. So now that that has been cleaned up, I flip the towel and now I'm just drying up the surface. And if your towel gets too saturated, because we did use a fair amount of product, then just grab another dry microfiber towel and make sure to dry the surface really well. You're going to go through a lot of towels. That's just the name of the game with rinseless or waterless solutions. You will use a lot of towels. This stuff, again, so slick and really cleans the paint well. So now, whoops, look at that. I missed a spot. So the paint is nice and clean, super slick feeling. All the surface contaminants are gone. The light dust, anything like that from the air is removed, and I have some protection. So waterless wash used on the hood here with those two different products. Rinseless wash I just used on the really grungy area on the glass where there was a lot of buildup and that side mirror. So now we have one more thing to tackle, and there's a bird dropping right there that we're going to tackle with the waterless wash. So here's a bird dropping on the hood that we're going to tackle. It's not bad. It's just a little bird dropping. Still, you can use a safe waterless wash. We're going to use the Turtle Wax 3-in-1. Saturate it. Let it soak in there for a couple of seconds or as long as you want, as long as it doesn't dry out. And simply take your microfiber towel and do the roll technique and just swipe it up. If there's a little bit of residual left, don't grind too much into the paint, but if you need to add a little bit more for lubrication, do that. And make sure to get that bird dropping completely up. Take a second towel, dry the surface. And now it's cleaned up safely without inflicting a ton of damage, or really any damage, in the paint. Okay guys, so let's recap. Rinseless washes, waterless washes. Again, this is just my opinion from research I've done from how I use the products. A rinseless wash to me is a solution that you dilute. You use it in a couple of gallons in a bucket of water. Essentially you're using water. So it's not considered a waterless wash, it's considered a rinseless wash. You can mix into a bottle to a dilution ratio that would be considered a waterless wash or a quick detailer that you spray into the panel and wipe off. But with Optimum No Rinse and a couple of other different products, it's used in a couple of gallons of water, diluted, using multiple soaking wet microfiber towels to clean the paint. You're adding a lot of lubrication. I think it's a little bit safer to use in that way, safer than a waterless or a detailer solution, because you do have much more water that you're using. A waterless wash is different. It is non-dilutable. It's used straight out of the bottle, spraying the paint, wipe off with proper technique, and basically you're cleaning the paint laying down some protection. The end result is pretty much the same. You're using a lot of microfibers and you're carefully washing and drying the paint pretty much at the same time quickly, and you are using little to no water at all with these different solutions. Use them intelligently. Don't use them on a vehicle that has a lot of buildup of grime and dirt that has traveled from the road onto your paint. Use it on vehicles that have dust and minerals and grime and stuff from the sky down. So I know that's kind of an interesting thing. I didn't come up with that. That was from a Turtle Wax representative that was explaining the usage of the Turtle Wax 3-in-1 quick detailer. I just thought it was something really interesting to share with you guys because the concept is brilliant and it's a good way of judging when to use these types of products. So when using both the Wolfgang product and the Turtle Wax product, I loved both of them. I have to say though, this stuff smelled a little bit better than the Turtle Wax stuff. They both smell good, but I think this smelled a little bit fruitier. I mean, that's subjective. That doesn't really make a difference. That's just something of note. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned some stuff from it as well. I know it's a very interesting topic. Let me know your thoughts down below. Do you use rinseless washes? Do you use waterless washes? When do you use them? Why do you use them? Again, guys, this is my professional and personal opinion. This is how I see these products being properly used and how they should be used per directions. Let me know down below what you think. Again, you can find all these products in the links down below. And guys, if you're enjoying the content, and I hope that you are, consider subscribing, supporting the channel, helping us to grow. Click that bell. That way you get notifications each time our videos drop each week and you don't miss stuff. Guys, if you're interested in any of the apparel that we have new shirts, hoodies, and more. Click on the store down below and you can purchase any of the products there and put in code Miranda25 for 25% off of everything on there. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you have a safe week. We'll see you next time. Take care.